Alright guys, last week we looked at the ScanSpeak 15M midrange, and today we're looking at this Morel 2-inch dome midrange. This midrange is the mid that I'm going to focus on for the next little while in my high-end three-way design, partly because of the measurements, partly because of the compact size, and partly because of how it sounds. Right now it's suiting what I want to get out of this three-way the best, although ultimately I will go with a two-woofer three-way and use this or something like it. So anyways guys, as mentioned in the video about this, these are very different mids, but they still serve a general same purpose. So you can watch both videos and keep the other mid in mind when you're watching them. But I'm not doing a direct comparison of the two because it just doesn't make sense, I guess. Even though they do have some overlap in use. So anyways, check this out. I think you're going to be impressed. Even though this thing has been around on the DIY scene for a long time, it's still a performer.
So I ordered this and paid for this with my own money from Solon, but I'm pretty sure this is not the original packaging. I think the styrofoam is original packaging, but you can see there was other things I ordered inside the packaging. So they kind of butchered it and then put the cardboard on top, which kind of annoys me because I did pay for these and I expect them in original packaging, but whatever. So they came with some gaskets by the looks of things. You can pop the center out and then put it behind the flange and mount it to your speaker. And if that styrofoam is original packaging, which I'm pretty sure it is, it was pretty tight, held the drivers in there really well, and I anticipate the original packaging was quite well done. The drivers themselves, I wasn't expecting much. I kind of ordered these reluctantly. I don't know, I felt they weren't good value or something. The spec sheet didn't really impress me and stuff. I don't know, but they truly actually are really high quality feeling units. I was really impressed when I got them in hand and I was happy I ordered them. It's actually the first Morel driver I've used. Overall, I was quite impressed with the build quality. I like the small flange because I can get the drivers spaced really closely. The only complaint I had in terms of build quality is the sticker that wraps around the body of the driver was kind of crinkly and feels like it could fall off. But overall quite good. I forgot to take a video or a shot of the baffle I used, but it was the exact same dimensions as I used for the ScanSpeak I just measured. I started by measuring outside, but I had some issues, so I went inside and I took measurements that way. And considering the bandwidth of this mid-range is, you're not going to use it any less than 700 hertz or so, I figured indoors was okay. Here we have the two measurements, sample 1 and sample 2. Overall, the results match what I was expecting. There's a little bit of a broad dip in the 3,000 to 4,000 range that isn't really shown on the spec sheet, but that's really okay by me, actually. The extension is solid down to 800 hertz and starts rolling off below that, which is about right for a 2-inch mid-range dome like this. It's got 88 dB of sensitivity. This is an 8 ohm driver, I should remind you. So that's pretty good for a driver of this size. In a mid-range, I'd like to see a little more sensitivity, but I like that it's 8 ohm for a mid-range. And it's hard to ask for much more than that for something with such a small amount of surface area. The 88 dB matches the spec sheet well, so the advertised sensitivity is about correct. Unit to unit variation was decent, but not great. There's a couple little spots that are about 1 dB here and there, and thankfully it's not like sample 1 was 1 dB louder across the board or vice versa. It was kind of a mixture, so just a little bit of difference between the two. At the very top, there's 3 to 5 dB difference, but I don't really care. Way up there, I'm going to have low pass on this thing, and it's going to be squished down into the noise floor anyways. The off-axis behavior, I measured in 10-degree increments out to 60 degrees. I think as I was twisting the baffle, I was getting a little further and further from the mic, because down below 500 hertz, all those lines should be bunched up together a little closer, but oh well, we're just looking for a trend, so excuse that error of mine. But if we are just looking at the trend, you can see overall that this is quite a smooth, consistent off-axis response, even way up above about 5 kilohertz. Things do get a little odd, and this could be indicative of some breakup. Even a small diameter dome like this is going to have some breakup, but it's very well controlled, and I don't see any issues with this thing all the way up to 5,000 hertz. Okay, next I measured all the harmonic distortions, and you can have a look at them yourself by going back and clicking pause. I also measured cumulative spectral decay, and I gotta say I'm really impressed with this result. If you look above 5,000 hertz, the so-called breakup region of this mid-range, this thing's really darn clean. You could almost run this thing wide open. Hardly any issues to speak of. As you move down in frequency below 2,000 hertz, most all drivers get more and more decay time, but certainly less than the scan speak I measured in my last video, and less than most any midwoofer or anything like that. So quite clean. Below 1,000 hertz, it gets a little more decay. Like the first few slices are quite close to the first slice, but still quite manageable and listenable. Okay, then I measured impedance. I used my WT3 and just quickly grabbed a sweep of both drivers. And here we have both sweeps, sample 1 and sample 2. And you can see that really there's not much to complain about here. The FS, the resonance frequency of this mid-range, is hovering around 500 hertz, which is above the factory spec of 380 hertz. So that's not good in the sense that it doesn't match the factory spec, but it's very low Q and not really a big deal. It'll be easy to work with. Even a single capacitor high-pass filter will work on this, especially if you apply an L pad to it. For such a small driver, there's quite a bit of inductance. Now, I say a small voice coil because it's a small driver with likely very few windings, but it is likely a 2.1-inch voice coil. So I'm not sure what to think of that. It's small, but it's not small. But I was surprised by the amount of inductance. Above 700 hertz, we have very good consistency. And it's, like I say, it's smooth, it's easy to work with, not really anything to complain about above 700 hertz, other than that inductance. So overall, I'd say this is quite a good result for the impedance. Then, as I always do, I take the files and I put them into my crossover simulation program, and I start to play around and see what this thing can do. This driver requires a high pass and a low pass. I always start with second order filters because that's just what I like to start with. That's usually the best solution for most drivers. And I start fiddling the knobs, and overall I'd say this is pretty easy to work with. I'm able to get a pretty good fourth order high pass and second order low pass right off the bat. And I think this thing could match very well to a ribbon tweeter without much low-end capability, and a mid-woofer or woofer that is able to comfortably get up to 700 or 800 hertz or even 1,000.
Okay guys, there you have it. There's the Morel MDM55. It's still a performer despite many years on the market. A lot of people have used it, and it's no wonder why. I have heard this mid-range, and I think it sounds wonderful, and the performance, although it doesn't have anything outstanding about it, it serves the purpose. It accomplishes that 800 to 4,000 hertz bandwidth very, very well, and I'm going to put it to good use. Thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Stick around, subscribe, and all that stuff so you can see more, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.